Hi everyone, my name's Daryl. So I'm the proud owner of a 2022 A-Liner Classic. I bought it used about 8 months ago or so. And yeah, the trailer's been so great for us. I think we've used it about 5 times going camping. A little less than once a month, but we have a lot of plans for using it this summer. But on a trip to Arizona to the Grand Canyon about a month ago or so, it didn't go great. The roads were terrible. Just Arizona highways are awful with potholes. We actually had a flat because of the pothole. And the other thing that happened is when we got home and I was unpacking the A-Liner, I noticed that my microwave, it was actually pushed in. The right side of it was kind of pushed in. And I was like, what in the world is going on with that? So yeah, I went out on my A-Liner forum and I was like, hey guys, so what's up with the microwave and how do you fix it when it becomes loose? And I guess this is actually a really common problem. I'm not sure why, but over the last couple of years or so, it's just been problematic. It always comes loose. And so people have various solutions for solving the problem. One of the solutions involves kind of a strap, basically that runs over the top of the microwave and kind of secures it, and you ratchet it down or use some sort of tie or something like that to keep that microwave in place. The other solution involves using some brackets, like L brackets on the back of the microwave to keep it kind of from moving, and also on the top, kind of putting pressure on it to keep that microwave from moving. And the last solution that I saw was really kind of using clamps, where you would put some sort of a clamp secured on the sides and to keep that microwave from moving. A couple solutions, and I didn't really know which solution I was going to use, but I knew I had to get into it just to see kind of what caused the problem, and also to try to figure out a solution. So I guess before I continue, I'm a newbie, right? I've only owned an A-Liner for 8 months, so I'm not an expert in any sort of way. I'm also not handy. I'm not kind of a do-it-yourself auto mechanic or, repair a whole bunch of stuff around the house. So I'm retired now, so I get to play around with this stuff, and so that's what I'm doing. And I kind of learn by doing, and it also helps me when I'm creating these videos, kind of documenting the process. And then when I learn, I also am able to give back to the community, and so that's why I do this. The other thing I'll mention is John Field. He works on A-Liners all the time, and I don't know if he's much of a fan for my videos, but one of the things he said to me is, no A-Liners are built the same. And so there's different years, different models, different equipment. And from 2021 to 2022, for example, supposedly 2021, the countertops were secured a different way from the 2022 models. And so just because I'm doing something a particular way isn't the right way or the wrong way necessarily. It's how I did it. And what works for my particular model might not work for yours, because once again, they're not all built the same way. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started on what I did. So the first thing, I needed to remove the microwave, and I really wanted to get into the top just to see what was going on inside. And I had heard in 2021 that basically the top, you could just pull it off. Supposedly it was just secured with some cabinet pressure fasteners. So you just pull it off and then push it right back down. And so, yeah, I pulled it like crazy. I didn't want to break it, but try as I might, I wasn't able to get that top off. And so then I had to go to plan B. And so plan B basically was, okay, so I'm going to take the frame off here and pull that frame off and pull the microwave off. And so I removed these 4 screws, and I tried to pull the frame off. And when I pulled the frame off, I could get the right side of it off, but the left side I couldn't get off. I couldn't pull it out. So I was like, that's weird. And when I tried to pull it out, like the whole microwave tried to move. And I was like, man, it looks like that frame's attached to the microwave. So then I pulled it out a little bit, and I could see that there were screws attaching on the frame to the actual microwave. And so I was like, oh, okay. I found it kind of weird that I could move the frame on the right side, but not the left. Nevertheless, I went ahead and removed those screws, and then I was able to pull that frame off. And so I was like, okay, that's great. So now I wanted to move the microwave. So I tried to pull the microwave off, and yeah, it wouldn't come out either. So I was like, man, what's going on? So I kind of got this side just out just a little bit. Once again, this side I could kind of do the right side I could do whatever I wanted to. So I pulled this left side out, and there was a little cable up on the top of the metal vent that kind of vents the microwave, that redirects the microwave ventilation to the front. But that cable was attached to the actual top of that metal vent. And so then I pulled it out a little bit more, and then I took my screwdriver and I got those 2 screws out of that cable, and then I was able to pull that microwave off. So with the frame off and the microwave out, I was then able to get a good look inside of the cabinet. And the first thing that I noticed was that there were L brackets on the top that were connected to the countertop, that were screwed into the countertop. And so yeah, if I would have pulled really hard on those, I would have broken those L brackets and those screws. So I'm glad I really didn't do that. The other thing that I noticed, and when I looked at the microwave, there were holes on the right-hand side of it that were there for connecting to the frame. And so as I mentioned, the frame was connected to the microwave on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side, they weren't connected. So I don't know if somehow those screws became, as we were hitting those potholes, if somehow they unscrewed themselves, but basically there were no screws. And so the frame wasn't attached to the right side of the microwave, which is one of the things that caused my problem. The other thing that I noticed is that on the bottom of the microwave, there's these little feet, and the feet were like all flimsy, and they weren't really hardly connected very well. I guess in the past, some folks that said that the A-liner, either the dealers or A-liner themselves, would actually remove those feet to make it easier to get it into the cabinet. I'm not sure about that. I don't know why, but nevertheless, the feet were kind of loose, and I don't actually know if they were solidly on the cabinet floor that was keeping that microwave secure and level inside that cabinet. So with all that work done, I kind of felt like I knew what happened, why the microwave became dislodged. And I suppose I could have just attached that frame better to that microwave, and maybe that would have fixed it and I could have called it a day, but I didn't want to do all that work and have it fail again. And so I wanted to figure out some sort of solution to better secure it. So I came up with sort of a hybrid approach using a couple of solutions. So what I was going to do was I was going to install some L brackets basically into the bottom of the cabinet that would go onto the back of the microwave to keep that microwave from moving backwards at all. So the frame kind of keeps it from moving forward, and the L brackets would keep it from moving backwards. So that's one of the things I was going to do. The other thing I wanted to do, I have these old ratchet straps that I used to use all the time when I was camping. So I was like, I got ratchet straps, I'm going to strap this sucker down. So I was going to put ratchet straps, I was going to run it down through the bottom of the cabinet, up over the top of the microwave, and just to secure it that way. And I figured with those 2 solutions, as well as the frame attached properly to the microwave, I figured that would pretty much fix my problem. So both of these solutions would require me to have better access to the cabinet, so I really needed to remove that countertop. Now, if I removed that countertop, I don't think I was going to be able to reattach it using the L brackets, because I just don't have space to do that. But I don't really want those L brackets on there anyway. I want to be able to get in there if something ever goes wrong. And so I figured I would just use Velcro to do that. So I removed the screws and then pulled that countertop off. The other thing I wanted to do was better secure the feet of the microwave. It's because they were just flimsy. So yeah, I probably didn't do the best solution, but I've just found some duct tape and I duct taped those feet so that they didn't move, and I felt happy that was going to be good enough. So the next thing I did was I reattached the frame actually to the microwave, and I just wanted to get, with the frame attached, get that microwave back inside the cabinet just to make sure that everything fit. And then I wanted to mark where I wanted the L brackets to be installed. I marked a little line where I wanted my strap to go through to the bottom of the cabinet. And then I also wanted to make sure that the screws for the frame kind of matched where the initial holes were for the screws. And so got everything in place, and lo and behold, when the microwave was sitting flat on the cabinet floor with the feet, the screws didn't line up. Only one of them actually lined up. The only way I could get them to line up was to actually lift the left side of the microwave a little bit up in the air to get that to line up. And so literally, when somebody installed this, basically the microwave was lifted up off the top of the cabinet floor, and it was putting pressure on all of these screws to keep that in place. And so, yeah, two things: having that frame not attached to the microwave and the fact that was actually lifted up in the air a little bit really caused my problems. So now I was really confident that I figured out what caused my problems with the microwave and what caused it to get dislodged. So now it's time to get to work. So got my drill out, drilled a couple of holes for the L brackets. Now, one of the things that I did for my L brackets is I didn't use wood screws for those because the wood where the microwave sits is really thin. And so what I did is use machine screws and ran those through the L brackets. And then I basically used a washer and nut on the bottom to secure that in place. And then I drilled a hole for where my ratchet strap would run through to go down to the bottom of the cabinet, run through it. On the left-hand side of the cabinet, where the wheel well is, there's already space there that I could run that ratchet strap back up and around. So with that work completed, it was time to secure the frame to the actual microwave. If you ask any A-liner owner, any veteran A-liner owner, what is one of the common problems, it's with screws that just come loose off of the A-liners. And so they will recommend that you use Loctite when you're securing screws in an A-liner, as well as wood glue. And so when I secured the frame to the actual microwave, I put a little bit of Loctite on that screw to make sure that, yeah, that is never going to come loose again. So the other thing I did is, since I didn't use the original holes from the factory because they didn't line up, I went ahead and just used just a little bit of wood glue just to kind of fill in those holes a little bit. And then once that dried up, then I reinstalled the microwave and then reattached the frame to the cabinet. And also, once again, I used a little bit of wood glue on the screws just to make sure that that frame is in there solid, it isn't coming out again. So I had mentioned previously when I was trying to pull the microwave out and it didn't actually pull out, there's a small little cable up on the top here that attaches to the metal vent that redirects air to the top of the microwave out of the cabinet. And when I reattached that cable with two screws, I kind of created a little bit of a loop that I was going to use to wrap my ratchet strap through that would help secure it a little bit better. So with that loop in place, I then ran my ratchet strap basically through the hole that I created, down below it, over the top of the microwave, and then using that loop, and then I ratcheted that microwave down really over the top of the vent just to make sure that that thing didn't move at all. So yeah, so I just used Velcro over the bottom of the countertop, and it's so easy basically just to put this in place and just to push down on it and have that Velcro secure it. And that way, you know, if my little fix here doesn't work out, that way it's really easy to get back into there. But I am super confident that this is gonna keep that microwave in place and not have it move at all. And so hopefully I'll never have to revisit this again, unless, yeah, the microwave stops working. So that's it. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the summer and getting out on some camping trips and doing some traveling just to see how my solution holds up. But to tell you the truth, I'm really confident that this is going to work out and I'm not going to have any problems in the future because it's just really super secure. So if you're an A-liner owner and you're one of them that has a microwave and actually use it, and if this ever happens to you, hopefully this video gives you some ideas and gives you some confidence that you can fix it yourself without having to, you know, pay somebody to do it. If you got some value in this video, please like it and also consider subscribing to my channel. And I hope to see you in the next one again very soon.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.